Trucker Dump for August 30th, 2009, Episode 25, Super High Value Loads.
Welcome to Trucker Dump, where you'll get one driver's insights and sometimes humorous views of truck driving and the trucking industry, and pretty much anything else he feels like dumping on you. This podcast is brought to you by AboutTruckDriving.com. Resources to help you understand the world of truck driving through the use of stories and a pathetic attempt at humor.
All right, folks, we're about to delve into the secret world of trucking. My name is Bob. Yeah, Bob Todd. Enter this podcast at your own risk. And here, take the cyanide pill just in case. You never know. I called this one Super High Value Loads. Or did I? The length I go to just to bring you a story, I can only hope you appreciate the danger I'm putting myself into. Someone probably has my forehead in the crosshairs of a high-powered sniper rifle right now. Okay, perhaps that's just a tad bit of an exaggeration. While the company I drive for does forbid me to talk about high-value loads, as far as I know, that's only when I'm actually under such a load at the time. Also, no one outside my immediate friends and family know what trucking company I drive for, so no one can track me that way. It also helps that no one reads this blog except for immediate friends and family. So I've got that going for me. And that frees me up to tell you this. I have just delivered the highest value load I've ever transported. That is, if you consider a load of cell phones worth 5 million smackaroos high value. No, I have no idea what brand. I'd like to think they were my beloved iPhones, but I really have no clue. It was also the only load that has ever required an escort service to tail me the entire way. Ooh, now we're talking CIA type stuff. Todd McCann. Gee, that doesn't have any kind of ring at all to it, does it? It's a good thing I'm better looking than James. Anywho, the evil overlord started out the trip in the driver's seat while I settled down for a bumpy night's sleep. On high-value loads, most trucking companies require the driver to travel a minimum of 200 to 300 miles before we make our first stop. Having the bladder the size of a BB, the evil overlord took it easy on the liquids so she could fulfill the requirement. With our fuel gauge on full, we were set to make the entire trip without refueling. Unfortunately, the escort car didn't have 250-gallon tanks. A mere 200 miles out, she was forced to stop so the escorts could fuel. Since the BB was about to burst, the evil overlord actually welcomed this early stop. Through our in-truck satellite, the evil overlord notified our company that we were stopping, while the escort called in the stop to the shipper. Some trucking companies require the driver to contact them every time they stop the truck while under a high-value load. Other companies only have that requirement under certain high-value loads. Still, others don't need to be notified of any stops. Nearly all trucking companies have some sort of policy for high-value loads. Part of this policy might include padlocking the trailer or backing the trailer doors against an immovable object when you stop. They might require the driver to stay with the truck and trailer, or they might set a maximum time that you can leave it unoccupied. If you're a team driver, they might say that the vehicle must be attended by one driver at all times. They might tell you to avoid stopping for breaks near certain notorious cities or high crime areas. The rules are all over the map when it comes to security, and now you know. And as G.I. Joe says, and knowing's half the battle. Where the heck did that come from? The next stop she made was another 300 miles down the road. By this time, it was time for us to switch positions. The escorts decided to do the same. The evil overlord whipped up some victuals for herself while I ran into the truck stop and nabbed some Subway. The nice lady at Pilot informed me, "Did you know that for 30 cents less you could get the 44-ounce iced tea instead of the 32-ouncer? Naturally, I went with the bargain. I hate it when they upsell. Within 45 minutes, we were rolling again. Now, normally, I store my whiz about as efficiently as a camel stores water, but come on, it was 44 ounces. Therefore, even I, Bladderman, had to stop at a rest area before I could complete the rest of the 300 miles to the receiver. Oddly enough, the escort driver refused the need to use the facilities himself. I might have thought that he had a gargantuan bladder, but I had witnessed him carry a 12-pack of water out of the pilot. I didn't ask any questions. To make a long story short, too late. The rest of the trip went fine until I missed the turn into the receiver. It was on a blind curve and they had a little bitsy teeny-weeny sign. A few blocks down the road I found a place to turn around. When I got back to the receiver and told the elderly gentleman at the guard shack that they needed a bigger or earlier sign, he said, "Really? You're the only one who's ever missed that turn." I caught the sarcasm in his voice and the twinkle in his eye, so at least I was justified in my ineptitude. I have to admit something about my first escorted high-value trip. I expected it to be a lot worse. In fact, I expected it to be maddeningly annoying. I expected to be pissed about it for the rest of the weekend. You see, I figured that the escort drivers would constantly be wanting to stop for gas, food, and bathroom breaks, and that we would constantly be stopping, starting, and talking on the phone with them. I was wrong on all counts. Just don't go telling the evil overlord that I admitted that. I've got her convinced that I'm perfect. Psst.
Hey, yo, bud, where do you want this load of feedback?
Woohoo! I got more comments. This time it's on the podcast called Friendly Truckers Haven't Vanished. Let's see what they have to say. Niraj says, "In this case, this is a situation where technology has helped and is not hindered by spreading people further apart. From your story, it seems the movies are still true in the sense that truckers still have an ad hoc fraternity of sorts when they get together in the analog world. Evil overlord. Ha! Women take forever. Double ha. Make me chuckle." Well, Niraj, if fraternity of sorts means bombarding each other with truck stories, then yes, I suppose it is. Thanks for writing in. Dot McIntyre says, "Hey Todd, great article. I enjoy all your posts and have subscribed to your blog." Well, Dorothy, thanks for the subscribe. As if you don't hear enough about trucking every day. Dorothy has a husband and 2 sons who are truckers. You'd think she'd have enough of it. Chips Zynga says, "I'm continually wandering all across the web almost all night, which means I possess a tendency to peruse a great deal, which is not generally a beneficial thing as a large amount of the websites I see are made up of pointless rubbish copied from various other sites a million times. On the other hand, I gotta say this web page is actually half decent and even includes a lot of original content. So kudos for helping to stop the phenomenon of simply duplicating other people's websites. If you ever want to play a few hands of Facebook poker together with me, just send me a message. You have my email." Well, Chips, thanks for stopping by. I agree with you that there's way too much regurgitated vomit out here on the webs, although some of it's pretty good. Unfortunately, those folks puke up that stuff way more than those of us who choose to add something original to the mix. It seems that it takes a lot more effort to actually use your brain than copy someone else's content. Although I gotta admit, stumbled upon is some good stuff. So thanks to you who sent in your comments. Looking forward to hearing from more of you. Coming up next is how you can get a hold of me. Well, are you still here, or did you swallow that pill? If you've got questions about high-value loads or stories of your own, head on over to abouttruckdriving.com, type TD025 in the search bar, and type away. However, if you're super paranoid now, you can send me a super secret email at truckerdump@gmail.com. If you don't mind me tracking your every move, please take a second and subscribe to the blog and the podcast. Links to both can be found on the website. If you're on Twitter, give me a follow over there. I'm Todd McCann. That's 2 D's, 2 C's, and 2 N's. I mean, Bob Todd. Dang. Thanks for listening. So until next time, if I make it until next time, drive safe and stay out of my way.